little bit of what Joker from Better Bachelor has to say about all this. In his video he did, he was highlighting something that's going on X with an Australian doctor. I don't know what type of doctor she is. Was talking about red pill stuff and talking about, the Tates and whoever. And Joker had some comments, and I thought they were pretty good comments. I want to kind of start off with that. Let's see. Let's pull it up over here. And if you guys haven't gone over to check out Better Bachelor, I definitely recommend it. Joker is definitely in the men going their own way space. He's over there, not because he's afraid to talk to women, not because he doesn't understand game, not because he doesn't understand female nature, but I believe it's because he's just tired of dealing with it. Someone like Joker, those are those guys who are MGTOW that I don't have a problem with. Because, the MGTOW, they say that those guys are pretty much in the black pill world, kind of like, where the guys who just aren't really trying anymore. But someone like Joker who has done the work, has the ability to succeed in the dating world, and just decides, you know what, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. I don't want to mess with this for various reasons. I can respect that. Joker's just like, you know what, I'm tired of this. Not just the dating, but I'm tired of everything that's going on over here in this mainstream world. And, I just don't want to deal with it. I want to live like a real American, off the grid, just take care of what I got to take care of. I have made enough money to take care of myself, and I want to leave all that nonsense alone. That's where I believe Joker is. And I don't have a problem with that. All right, Joker, do you, bro. But when you listen to his content, he makes some good points. There's going to be some talking here about politics a little bit. And again, I agree with, almost everything he was saying here. So let's definitely give this a listen. Here we go.
We do try to fix the world. We do try to make things better for everybody. But primarily, we're worried about keeping men sane and safe and healthy and not getting themselves in trouble and taken advantage of, and having the courts come after us, and getting, instead of landing in jail, having the jail land upon them. And instead of what she could have done is say, hey, you know what? We need more people to step up. We need more voices that will protect men. We need more different angles on how to look at this. And she could have said, we need to focus on feminism and how things have gone wrong and why it's causing men to make these communities, why it's causing men to listen to people like Andrew Tate and others, why men are disenfranchised. Nope. She doesn't want to talk about any of that. What she wants to do is attack the guys that are responding to feminism. And it reminds me, it's almost a meme at this point. A kid gets picked on by a bully in school. The bully shoves around the kid. The kid finally gets angry and punches the bully. And right then's when the teacher comes in and drags the kid that's been bullied and given the hard time, who finally decided to step up and fight back. He's the one that gets dragged off to the principal's office. That's what this reminds me of.
And what Joker is talking about is the manosphere as a whole, right? The manosphere is the part of the internet where men are going, seeking help, seeking answers to questions and situations that they found themselves in because they just don't understand why. Well, I've done everything I was supposed to do. I did everything they told me to do. I ate my vegetables. I did my exercises. I prayed. I made my bed, and I am getting devastated over here. I'm getting crushed. Why? And they find themselves in the manosphere and falling down a red pill hole or the black pill hole or whatever pill hole. Like, they wind up talking about all this stuff and just trying to figure stuff out. Now that it's starting to become mainstream because of these people who are so bombastic that their clips are going viral and this and that. People come and they attack the entire realm. All the manosphere. They don't know the difference between red pill and black pill and blue pill and all this other stuff. They don't know. They just come over there attacking it all. Instead of doing what Joker just said. Well, Why don't they just find out why these guys are gravitating to Andrew Tate, to, Fresh and Fit? Why are they watching this content? Why are they over here, reading uh the Unplugged Alpha, reading Women Deserve Less? Why are they reading, the Rational Male? Figure it out first. Figure out what the draw is. Ask these dudes what their problems are, and then begin to come up with a suitable replacement or some sort of solution. Nah, they don't want to do that. We just want to shut all these other people down and leave these guys hanging. Like, I'm still messed up here. Like, you know what I mean? And when they do that, they just make it better for those people in the space, who the bombastic, loud people. They're just going to get more folks. This recent thing with Fresh and Fit, people like, yeah, Fresh and Fit is gone for good. Man, Fresh and Fit ain't going nowhere. In fact, they're probably going to get more people to watch them. Every time Ethan Klein or those people over there from the extreme blue pill side of the world come after Fresh and Fit, every time the Fresh and Fit haters come after Fresh and Fit grows. More and more dudes come over, and then they see what's going on. Like, yeah, they see the nonsense, the crazy stuff on the after hours show, but then they watch the early shows. Oh, no one talked to me about credit before. No one talked to me about finance before. Now I understand the fitness part of it. No one talked to me about hygiene and grooming and fashion. No one talked to me about investing in timepieces and crypto and precious metals. Right? Wow, I never would have heard of George Gammon were it not for Fresh and Fit. Wow, the rebel capitalists make sense to me. Let me look into this more. Let me figure out how the financial system works. Why is it that dollars are really worthless? Like, what really does back a US dollar? Nothing. Oh, let me start looking at that, because you're not going to get this in school, right? Your parents aren't home. They're working hard. They can't tell you why. You're sitting there looking at these dudes. You're looking at the Andrew Tates, you're looking at the Fresh and Fits, and you're like, what's going on? Can I do that? And these dudes are like, yeah, you can do it. Let me show you how. Yes, there's a whole bunch of bad stuff over there. People are like, well, what about the bad stuff, Uncle Saint? Don't pay attention to it, bro. How much bad stuff is in America? Right? How much bad stuff is ingrained with America? You can't ignore it. You have to see it and know how to avoid it and understand it. Okay, let me look out for that. Let me stay away from that. Right? Are there guys out here like these fake gurus out here doing whatever, trying to get your money? Yep. Are there gold diggers out here trying to get your money? Yep. But if you're truly understand the red pill, that means you're looking at all of that. All of it. It's like, oh man, can't believe that guy. I paid this guy to be like, oh, I paid $6,000 to be into the war room, Andrew Tate's war room. You get in the war room and all you find out is a bunch of fanboys in there. And it's like, man, what is this? And they're just continuously upselling me. That's not me talking. I never joined the war room. This is from a guy who was in the war room. He recently came out of it. I'm going to be reviewing and reacting to his video here probably tomorrow. Just to throw it out there. But even that guy said it was all those fanboys in there, but there were real millionaires in there. There were dudes in there who were powerful men. You just had to figure out a way to get to them. Right? That's going to be out there. This is part of it. This is how this stuff works. Right? There's people in the manosphere going to try to take advantage of you. There are women out there in the dating world going to try to take advantage of you. There are organizations and corporations out here in the real world going to take advantage of you. Right? Colleges, for instance. Like, do you have to spend $300,000 on a degree? No, you don't. You don't have to. Yes, you're going to make more money in the long term with a degree. Historically, that's been true. But you can get a degree from a city college. You don't have to have a degree from Notre Dame. You don't have to have a degree from Brown. Yeah, you don't have to have a degree from MIT. But if you're a brilliant person and you're in STEM and you go to MIT, it makes sense. But make sure you can pay for it. Win scholarships and stuff like that. Get other people to help pay for that. Right? These are the things that the manosphere talks about these things. Red Pill World, they talk about these things. Most dudes want to know about womanizing and all that kind of stuff, they talk about it, but there's other things that they talk about as well. Let's continue.
But she does have a point, and that a lot of the content creators that are in quote unquote red pill and manosphere content are kind of losing their minds a little bit. Not completely, but some of their and it's one of the reasons why I said a long time ago, I'm not going to call myself red pill anymore. I'm not going to call myself going my own way is still accurate. I think that's good. I'm not going to call myself part of the manosphere anymore because it's been hijacked. And the people that have hijacked it are the ones that want to be out there the most. And they're the ones that are heard the most and shared the most and tweeted the most. And now kind of normie people come across it and they're like, you guys are kind of weird. You're like feminists, but for men. And that is not the message we want to be, sending out to the world.
No way. And the irony is that the leaders of these ideological groups will say things like, oh, women are scum-sucking road whores who are going to take all of your money and suck all of your wealth. They're all gold diggers who are going to take your future gold from you, while simultaneously asking you for money and asking you to buy their books and their programs and sign up to their courses that they know have no tangible real-world benefits for you.
Now, Joker's about to get into this, and girl, she's the points she is making here are valid for those people who simply watch clips. I guarantee you that whoever this woman is making these statements she has watched less than 10 hours of, manosphere content. I'm talking about total. You know what I mean? Maybe a few minutes of Andrew Tate, maybe a few minutes of Pearl, maybe a few minutes of whatever podcast, whatever, maybe a few minutes of Fresh and Fit. She hasn't watched any of the content. So to say that a book like Unplugged Alpha or The Rational Male is just a scam to get money from dudes, I can't agree with that. Since I've read the books, I'm still working on Rational Male. Like, Rollo, bro, you put a lot of information, man. The text is so small. The one book I have to wear my glasses to read, right? Reads like a manual, but it is full of relevant information. Myron Gaines' book, Why Women Deserve Less. Women hate that title. But when you open up the book, there's some good information in there. Bachelor Pad Economics, Aaron Clary. Also, what's the other one he did? The Book of Numbers. I had to turn around and look at it because it's on the shelf behind me. The Book of Numbers. Great information. And it's like eye-opening information, like stuff you just don't think about. You don't think about how much money goes into pursuing a woman. You just don't. As a guy, you're just trying to get the girl. You don't think about it. Well, I'm supposed to take her out. I just got to take her out somewhere nice. I got to look good. I got to impress her because all these other guys, so I got to do more than the guy before me. Man, that stuff gets expensive, bro. Expensive. Even if you're just taking her out to a movie. If you're just taking a woman out to a movie once a week, right? That's what? Minimum $60 a week? $240 a month? Just to do that? And I didn't even factor in the gas. I didn't even factor in, dinner before or drinks after. That was just the movie. Movie tickets, maybe some popcorn. You got to park to get into the movie theater. Right? Get, some drinks. Soda. I'm talking about soda, a bottle of water. He probably charge you like $6 for a bottle of water in a theater these days, right? One woman taking it to the movies 4 times in 1 month, you're looking at over $200. Just that. Multiply that by how many women you're trying to chase. You know what I mean? Over, X amount of time. It's the Book of Numbers. It's Aaron Clary's. Right? It's good information in there. I'm glad I bought those books. I'm glad I read those books. You know what I mean? It makes sense. But here's a woman who just saw it. I don't like these clips that I'm watching. I don't like the things that they're saying. So all of it is bad. Not even giving a single solitary thought to why guys are gravitating towards this information to begin with.
So Rollo Tomasi, who writes a book, asks for $20, $25 for his book. And that's got no tangible benefit. I know of thousands, if not tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of guys that would argue with that. Aaron Clarey, who writes Bachelor Pad Economics, and gosh, I don't even have his books near me right now. They're still packed away, but they will be on a bookshelf. I'll tell you that in my home when it's finished. Aaron Clarey writes great books when it comes to female nature and economics and how to protect yourself and things like that. Are you saying that he has no tangible real world benefits? Well, of course she does. Why? She's never read any of the books.
Fact.
What she does is she sees Andrew Tate, a guy that's worth gosh knows how many millions of dollars, put out a Matrix man making, website for $50 a month where you can sign on to it. And she assumes everybody in the community is like that. Coach Greg Adams has written a book. Do you think Coach's book is like that? I don't think so.
Yeah, Coach Greg, I think it's what, Free Agent Lifestyle. I haven't gotten that book yet, but I will. I'm not a huge follower of Coach Greg Adams, but I've seen his content. Spot on. It makes sense to me. I'll sit down and I'll watch. I've watched at least 6 hours of his content. I need to watch some more, but I've watched at least 6 hours. He makes sense. He makes sense. This is coming from a man who's been married twice, I believe. This man who has children. It's a man who's dealt with the family court system. Right. This is a man who knows how to date. He knows how to womanize. Right. He has the wisdom. He has the experience. His voice is needed in this space. There are guys out there that he's really helping. They follow him like, yeah, this is what's up. Right. And then old girl was talking about gold diggers. Right. And even she's like, all women are gold diggers. What does Myron say? Myron says, all women are gold diggers, just some are better at hiding a shovel. Right? What does he mean by that? He's like, women want resources. They want to be protected. They want guys who can provide. They want experiences. Why not? And we live in a world in which that's been promoted. Women know that guys will pay. They know it. We've all been programmed. A guy has to ask you out. Guy has to take you out. If you guys date, you get married. He's the father of your children. He's going to provide and protect for you. You're his princess, right? You're his queen. He's your king, that kind of thing, right? People have been programmed in this country that way. So what does the manosphere say? What is the red pill contest saying? Be careful with that narrative, bro, because you will get your face cracked. You will get your face cracked. Be careful who you choosing. So when Myron Gaines makes a statement like that and says all women are gold diggers and just some are better at hiding a shovel, is he saying don't mess with women? No, he's not saying that. He's saying be careful. He's saying be careful. Everyone that I have seen in the red pill world, the manosphere worlds, they all say one thing: men and women are better together than they are apart. They all say that, all of them. But you won't hear that if you're not listening to the content. And you have to listen to a lot of hours of content before you get to that message.
This is the same thing everybody does to us all the time. They don't understand us. They don't understand the whole encompassing of the philosophy of kind of men's content and this sphere of the internet. And all they do is they see one little spot that's ugly and kind of brash and really kind of crazy, and they focus their eyes on that, and they forget the whole other thing and how many tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of men, if not millions of men, this has actually helped. And why are they selling books? Why are they asking money for money? Because they've been demonetized, because they're not getting ad revenue for some of the work that they do, because they've been removed from many of the platforms because they're shunned for what they say. Sydney doesn't know any of this. Of course she doesn't. Why would she? So now she, ironically, is grifting and has a statement to say about something she doesn't know anything about. Not just women, but many people seem to do that today, where they want to speak aloud about things they know nothing about. She's one of them.
They are the gold diggers. And instead instead of seeing this for what it is, people continue to engage with this terrible group of people, this terrible ideology that will ultimately keep you in a victimhood loop and ultimately mean that you will end up alone.
Well, first of all, ending.
You know, it's funny that, you know, she's saying this victimhood loop. I mean, there's segments of the manosphere. There are banners within the manosphere that, you know, I believe that might have some weight. I'm talking about the black pill guys. You know, I was talking to Brother Tyrone Saturday about that on Torsh's channel. There are guys out there that I think, you know, the doom and gloomers or whatever, there are guys out there who don't want to do the work. There are a lot of people out there. I mean, most of us are lazy. Most of us don't want to, you know, do the hard work, the heavy lifting. Most of us don't want to fail. But certain generations understand that in order to win, you're going to have to fail. You're going to have to lose a little bit at some point in order to win. You're going to have to work hard in order to win. You know, like I said, we got these generations now. You know, everyone gets a trophy, and Mommy said I'm special, and, you know, participation awards. They are having a hard time with this, right? But for her to say that these guys are the gold diggers, I don't agree with that. And for her to say, you know, you're going to wind up alone, maybe if you choose. I mean, if you glean the correct message from all this, you may choose to be alone. You may decide that, you know, until the laws change, until things change, I'm not going to deal with this. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. You know what I mean? Joker was saying that, you know, he no longer considers himself red pill or whatever, but he still holds on to the MGTOW thing. You know, hey man, I'm in the world. I'm in this world. I rock out with the red pill guys. I rock out with the Mano Swamp. I'm in it, and I'm gonna stay in it as long as I can help some guys. I'm, you know, able to help a couple dudes. It's worth it. You know what I mean? And as far as, you know, paying people or making money, paying for your product, man, it's you know, first of all, the game is supposed to be sold, not told. If you tell somebody something, it is what it is. They may or may not listen to you. Probably won't listen to you. But if they pay you for that information, bro, they're going to use that information. Right. And it's not like they're out here trying to just gouge you. Right. I would absolutely pay. And then also what Joker was saying, YouTube doesn't like the message. They demonetize folks. They can. That's their prerogative. It's their platform. They can do what they want to do. I mean, they're even going after someone like Rogan. Joe Rogan was talking to Tucker Carlson, and they didn't like that. So they're trying to suppress one of the biggest voices on the platform. You know what I mean? And it's like, how can you suppress Joe Rogan? When you look at those numbers, that's when you see, all right, somebody behind the scenes is messing around here. Someone like Rogan has numbers. Those numbers don't just drop off, you know what I mean, just for no apparent reason. And Rogan talking to a Tucker Carlson, everyone's going to want to watch that. Everyone's going to want to watch it. I haven't watched it yet, but I will. So, bro, it is what it is. The stuff that she's talking about, I mean, it screams to me that she doesn't know anything about the world, and moreover, she doesn't care. This woman right here doesn't care. She just wants these guys to get back to doing what guys do. We just need you to be the faceless batteries to drive our society. Keep chasing us, keep wasting your money, keep spending on these dating apps that don't work, keep taking women out to expensive meals when these women are just using you as a foodie date, right? Keep subscribing to somebody's OF. Just keep being a battery. Keep losing. That's what I'm hearing from this woman right here.
Up alone is hardly a negative nowadays, I would say. If anything, I'd say that's a benefit. But it's not about keeping you down. It's not about keeping you being harmed. It's not about keeping you in that mindset of the world is out to get you. It's to tell you in many ways the world is out to get you, but that doesn't need to hold you down. That doesn't mean you need to not live a happy life or a successful life, that you can't find alternatives, that you can't. I mean, if a young man today was not listening to any of the content and he's going out there and trying to date, and he's on dating apps where he's ignored, and he goes on dates where the women end up using him for food but don't want anything to do with him, or he gets into a relationship and she cheats on him, and or she expects him to accept her dating multiple men, or any of the other weird stuff that's going on. She doesn't call any of that out. She calls the men out that are trying to warn you. Now, why is she calling these men out? Because the influencers that she sees are not the shining example, at best examples of what this group of men are telling you. Does she bring up Aaron Cleary? Does she bring up Coach Greg Adams? Does she bring up Terrence Pops? Does she bring up me? Does she bring up, I'm trying to think some other, Sandman? Does she bring up Undead Chronic? Does she bring, no, she doesn't bring up Kevin Samuels. Does she ever talk about any of these men? No. Who's she talking about? Just Pearly Things, Fresh and Fit, Andrew Tate, the usual ones that go viral, that are loud. And then if you break that down and you say, okay, let's look at Fresh and Fit. Well, they say sleep with 50 women before you can decide which is the woman you want to be with. I don't like that take. That is a crap take. That is the player mindset. I'm not into that. Many of you are not into that. But that's the message that's going forward. What about Pearl? A woman.
You know, and there's definitely a lot of talk about that body count thing, man. 50, you got to sleep with 50 women. Myron gave a lot of prescriptions there. That was one of many. One of, I think there's 4 or 5 of them. Like you have to have, you have to be in the gym. You have to have 6 months of savings, in your account. You want to be making 6 figures. In addition to that, having 6 months of savings in the bank. The body count thing is there. I have to go back and find out exactly what we're talking about. But each point, no one talks about the other stuff. They just want to focus in on the 50 girls. And he's been asked about this many times, and it's not a hard number. He's saying that you basically want to be more experienced sexually than your potential partners. You need to understand how they move. So if you're dealing with a woman and she has, let's say 10 or 15 bodies, which I think is fair to say in today's world that most women have at least 15. I mean, can't prove it because you're going to have to get people to tell the truth, but women have, they're active, right? So if you're out there dealing with a woman who has 15 bodies and you have 2, she's going to run rings around you, bro. She's going to run rings around you. She's going to be able to leverage her intimacy in a way that you're not prepared to deal with because you haven't dealt with it before. Right? Your 2 experiences with women probably were 2 wholesome women who, maybe she had 1 body when you met her, or maybe you guys, had the same body count or whatever. So you guys were on equal footing. And this was what Myron is talking about. You need to put yourself in a position where when it comes to the intimacy games, when the sexual games come into play, withholding sex, or all this other kind of stuff, you're going to be able to see through it because you've dealt with a lot of women. That point, and the other point is you'll be in a better position to judge the type of woman that you're dealing with. Ideally, that's his point. It was like, if you do this, he said 50 bodies, but it could be 15, 20, whatever that number is. When you get to a point where like, okay, I figured out this intimacy side. I figured this out. All right, now I'm better equipped to deal with some of these women. If you're out here womanizing in America, especially if you're in the mid-size and to large cities, you are going to come across women who have extremely high sexual partners. I'm not saying every woman, but you will come across women who are very experienced. She's not going to tell you. You're going to have to be able to see the clues. There's certain things, there's a way about it. You're going to have to be able to spot that. And the only way to be able to spot these things is to be experienced yourself. Right? So if we were just making up numbers here, what do I think the percentage of women who have over 100 bodies are out in America today? I would say about 35 or 40% of women today probably have close to 100 sexual partners. And I know people out there going crazy right now. Man, this DL Saint out of his mind. But when you sit down and talk to women, when you cool with women, like I've been out here promoting and doing comedy shows and out in the streets. I've been in the trenches a long time. You sit down and just pay attention to what's going on. When you people watch and you see one woman in the 1 month period going home with multiple guys, I've seen, I used to see this in California all the time. See this on college campuses all the time. College clubs all the time. You see women in there kicking it. Beautiful girl next door looks like, you know, 6s and 7s. You know what I mean? It's never, it's not normally, it's not like the real hot girls. I mean, the hot girls tend to go with the same dudes over and over again. You might see her leave the club, but she's leaving the club with the same dude. Talking about the girls, the 6s, the 7s, some of the 8s. You'll see them out kicking it, going home with different dudes. Like, yo, I saw her at this club downtown on Tuesday. She left with some dude. Then you see her again a month later, another club uptown, cool little lounge. You see her like, damn, look at a little shorty right there. She leaves with another dude. Right? Then you see her a few months later at a comedy event, something like that. Now she talking to you. She go home with you. Right? This is what Myron's talking about. You want to get out there and see. And these women, God-fearing, church-going women, they ain't got no kids, whatever. They just want to do that, and they can. You have to be able to see that, bro. And most of these women I'm talking about, man, they going to get married, whatever, do their thing. But I think I think, you know, 35% of women out there today, yeah, I think 35% of those women got over 100 body counts. Over 100. You watch whatever podcast, man, watch Fresh and Fit, and you see the women they bring onto those panels. How many bodies you think those girls have? Right? These girls are just being liberated. Listen to the music. Sexy Red and all this stuff that's going on out here, hip hop and pop music, the popular music, women twerking all the time, turning up, getting drunk. You know what I mean? They smashing. They smashing. The vast majority of women don't have body counts that high, but I think, yeah, about, I would say 35%. How do we prove it? I don't know. I don't know what kind of studies are being done about that. And those studies will all be self-reported. I don't know, but I'm trying to tell you, when I go out and meet a woman and I'm kicking it with her, it doesn't take long for me to figure out what time it is with her. Doesn't take long at all. I'm just watching her actions. Most dudes don't understand that. And this is why Myron has that number, that body count. He wants men to be experienced. He picked the number. The number was 50. And he based that number on the amount of bodies he thinks the average woman has, and he doubled it. That's how he came to that number. He's thinking the average girl these days probably got about 20, 25 bodies. So you should have 50 bodies as a guy. That's where that came from. Right? Don't believe me? Ask Myron. You can ask him yourself.